The younger generations are feeling the squeeze a little bit economically.
Who cares if they're squeezed? Their grandparents felt the Depression and were pro-American.
Yeah, right.
They don't have anything like the Depression. There's a bunch of privileged.
Right, you're right.
What they really need is somebody like my father to kick their shit.
Right. So my point. Yeah, right. You're. That's it. And
if I ever said the things about America that they said, I wouldn't get much of a chance to say it in my house. I mean, I can't imagine what their parents are like.
That set is subtle, by the way. Could you fit more flags in there, Grandpa? But anyway, so Rudy Giuliani says that they're privileged little S's and they should have the crap kicked out of them because they're struggling. Like, that's not specifically why he's mad. It's specifically that they're struggling, and thus they're now supporting candidates who are actually proposing we do something about it. DSA candidates in general. That's what's making him so mad. And so he's angry at them. He's also angry, I guess, at their parents, too. Take a look.
A lot of those parents go, I don't know.
It's interesting, right? Even I got to credit my parents. I felt like they raised me the right way. I was expected to do chores and work around the house. Right. Well, that's also
a lot of the parents of these kids are a bunch of ex-hippies, and they were smoking their marijuana, and these are strong marijuana. We're gonna take a shit break.
Yeah, they have substance abuse issues, whereas Rudy Giuliani's generation never imbibed anything that was mind-altering. Again, look, this is kind of old man yells at cloud, I guess, but it is tied to the fact that these DSA candidates are sort of winning in races around the country. And I know that, like, Rudy, Luke, just wants to interpret this as they hate America, the people voting for them hate America. He seems like physically incapable of grappling with the idea that it's not about hating America, it's about wanting to try something different because it doesn't feel like what we've been doing works. That seems very understandable to me. He seems to be having problems. What do you think?
Yes. I just want to be inspired by Rudy. No, actually, I disagree, John. I think days were better when you were a good, old-fashioned American alcoholic and you beat your kids. As opposed to now, you have these high, sexually open, supportive parents who are turning our society into a bunch of queers. And that is what I think, okay? That's what I think. Don't you dare bring up substance abuse, Rudy Giuliani. But anyways, don't ask why I had a Tito's bottle so close by. Don't ask that question. I saw the rundown or something. So, yeah, I don't even want to discourage him from ranting like that. That's great. Do that. That is the best ad for Democrats ever, when a prominent Republican is saying, oh, you have concerns? Well, you must just be a wussy. Now, the thing people forget too, I feel like definitely some right-wing minded people in the older generation feel this bitterness towards complaints because they feel like they lived through difficult times. Yeah, and they were complaining too. Okay, that's how we made our country better. That's the story, is that often the younger generation points to the things that are wrong and then gets more engaged in politics. You sure can be motivated by your love for the country and by your love for certain aspects of who we are. I definitely love America, and that helped me to get passionate. And I also got really engaged when I was young about politics because I was really afraid of and opposed to Trump when he was entering politics. A complaint, a recognition about the issues that exist within the country that you love are a really motivating factor. And that was the story in many generations before this one. And so it's just a very tired, worn out rant from a very tired, worn out, alive, allegedly, person. By the way, you said that going into the story as you were introducing it, that you thought he had passed away already. I was on the show. I had to get our live chat to tell me if he was still alive or not. I really did not remember. I thought I saw a headline that he had passed away.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody in the audience thinks that we're being needlessly dark or crass about Rudy Giuliani's life, do me a favor and just open up another tab and Google Noel Dunphy. Anyway, so really fast, I love that you pointed out that when his parents were complaining about the Great Depression, I also just want, like, if Rudy's watching, so the Great Depression was really rough, right? And people complained. Rudy, do you know what happened politically in America following the Great Depression? We had the goddamn New Deal. That's what the DSA candidates are sort of invoking, the idea that we could actually reconfigure things, rethink our economy, reorient it to benefit working Americans. We did massive social spending and all of that stuff. The DSA candidates are not anti-American. They're doing the thing that produced the greatest sustained growth of wealth in American history. That's what we're trying to do again, you jackass. In his defense, he's drunk. In his defense, he's got a bottle of Tito's. And to be clear, like I mentioned the Noel Dunphy thing. There is apparently going to be a deposition January 30th of next year for it. It's been delayed and delayed and delayed because he's so unhealthy, supposedly, even though he's doing a podcast. Although, credit to him, he's selling the idea that he's unhealthy because I looked this morning and apparently he's been hospitalized again. So, knock on wood, we'll see what happens. But again,
why didn't you tell me that before I responded?
It doesn't matter. He's a terrible person, okay? He's a terrible racist and he's accused of horrific assaults. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, okay, with that said, let's lighten things up. That got a little bit dark. Let's jump into this.
In a generation, we have gone from which politician do you want to have a beer with to which politician do you want to hook up with. This just shows the vacuousness of social media culture, and the Democrats using it shows the vacuousness of their policies.
Socialism notwithstanding, I'm told Mom Donnie is a really good looking in person, Emily.
It's an increasing problem at Fox that they have this issue that their on-air hosts keep horn-dogging out over these new candidates, these DSA people, the Zoran Mamdanis, the Abdullah Said and everything. But like, I love that the first guy is like, social media is focusing on how hot they are. No, you guys are focusing on how hot they are. Laura Ingram's losing it over Abdullah Sayed's tight black t-shirts and all that. Ainsley Earhart, by the way, is going to list some of their qualities or whatever. I just want to really fast go to Hulu, though, because this has been like an ongoing series on our show that they can't stop talking about how hot these candidates are.
Yeah, neither can I. So I don't know if I'm the best person to talk about this because I have like a heat flash every time I talk about John Ossoff. So I don't really know if I can call them out. But I guess
Let me ask you. So I asked my audience because Trump is saying he's a Pee Wee Herman lookalike, and I was like, I feel like he's a perfectly handsome-looking guy. So I asked my audience 1 to 10, and they landed basically on he's an 8. What do you think about that?
Well, screw your audience then. He's a 10. He's the full package.
I think his hair could be slightly better. But now, I say that as a guy with bad hair, to be fair. But
I like her. I think that you would... I think people have an easy time looking from afar. I think if he looked at you and he said, "We can make a better America, Luke," right in the eyes, you would say 10 as well, but he would say your name, obviously. No, you know what's really funny? I had a member of Ossoff's team reach out, just sort of like, you know, creator engagement as they do. And he was like, "Hey, I saw your many videos about how attractive John Ossoff is. You know, he also has a policy record." And I was like, it's okay. Sex sells, shut up.
Yeah. So that's really funny. So someone in the chat, I'm Envy, is reminding us of AOC with her raven hair and red lipstick. I think that was Laura Ingraham that did that. And then I didn't even realize it. In that little montage, the mashup of all the hot candidates, they had Barack Obama in his tan suit. Like, he's not even one of the new candidates. You guys are just projecting that you thought he was sexy, I guess. Yeah. I didn't bring up Obama. You brought him up. Anyway, okay, so look, I actually think the DSA candidates are winning in small part because they're charismatic and photogenic and all that, or whatever. But, like, it's because of their policies. That
Yes.
said, let's see how Fox addresses their various qualities.
El Sayed peeks out in these tight t-shirts. You have AOC with her pretty smile. She's beautiful. She's got the red lipstick. You have, who else? You have Mamdani, always smiling, always seemingly positive. But it doesn't make their philosophy any less dangerous, right? You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Republicans need to take a page out of their book and go younger and do what they're doing. Get all over TikTok, get all over social media, because these young people believe when you tell them we're going to pay for everything in your life, they think, oh, that's wonderful, we can do that. They're not educated enough to know that socialism doesn't work. We run out of money.
It's like my knee-jerk reaction, but when she immediately transitioned from AOC with her lipstick to you could put lipstick on a pig, my reaction is, fuck you. Go the fuck to hell. What are you talking about? I know that you're going to transition into your bullshit attacks on socialism or whatever, when Abdul El-Sayed literally isn't even a socialist. So, God, you're such massive fucking liars. But also, you know that they're hot. And by the way, how much have they said, oh, the left isn't sexy enough with their blue hair and their armpit hair. They're not hot enough. And now we immediately flip the switch to all they are is bangable. That's their only benefit or whatever. Everybody wants to hump these candidates. How hot are we supposed to be? Because I feel like you're pulling me in multiple directions. Anyway.
I guess we're off radio right now or whatever. We switched to the aftermath.
No, the
this is a
aftermath
very
can
different
swear.
John.
I'm allowed to swear in the aftermath, right? No?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Dang it.
Anyway.
That was so
It was being really mean there.
That was
wasn't
good.
it?
She
Sorry.
was being a meanie pants.
Cut that. You do your thing.
So, yeah, fudge you, lady.
He didn't say fun. Anyway.
Yeah, well, next block, I haven't got to talk yet. Let's see.
No, those marks are not for you.
I'm
they're
kidding,
for
I'm
me.
kidding, I got it. Let's see, what do I say? So bangable, I'm trying to go over my notes. How much we want to hump them. Let's see. Right, they're too focused on that. So they... that's a funny contradiction you brought up that I didn't remember, that they used to make fun of us for being like not likable, charismatic, and gross, and yeah, armpit hair, blue hair, nose rings, whatever, and that's unattractive. And now it's the other thing where they assume if a policy platform is attached to a likable figure, that it must be the supporters of the said likable figure who are surface level and only like them because of their surface appeal.
Yeah.
But the thing I keep bringing up when Laura Ingraham kept doing those segments about how the only reason people like AOC is because she's pretty and she wears lipstick and blah, 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 blah. And then I go, wait, who's like the other person in the sentence with AOC? Like, whose are the two progressive powerhouses over the last decade? AOC, Bernie? So clearly, and Bernie, you could argue, had a much bigger profile and bigger base of support even than AOC did. And we weren't supportive of him because of
Luke. Are you denying the raw appeal of Bernard
except for when
Sanders?
he points that finger in my face, I say, stop it. But yeah, it's both. But I'm not going to deny I like whenever an Asaf or Abdul Sayed or the Obama 10 suit photo, whenever there's also a figure that seems really charismatic and likable. AOC, it is fun to attach policies you like to somebody that you also would personally enjoy. Humping.
Thank you. We don't have time to go on anymore about this, but it is something to think about for 2028. There is going to be like a critical mass of sexy candidates in that Democratic primary, and I wonder what effect that will have. Anyway, on me personally. Okay, with that, let's turn to yet another undeniably effable politician. Let's do a little check-in on Mitch McConnell. That's my favorite transition in GDR history. Anyway, let's jump into this. A recently resurfaced video of Mitch McConnell just might call into question the official story of why he's been hidden away from the public for literally months. Take a look at this. So this is a time-lapse video of an hours-long votorama on a $70 billion Republican reconciliation bill funding ICE and Border Patrol. That's not the important part. What's important was that it was filmed just 10 days before Mitch McConnell was hospitalized. You can see Mitch in the top there, sitting next to his wheelchair driver. What you can't really see is Mitch, like, moving, or talking, or doing really anything at all.
And I want to be clear, this video covers hours where Mitch is seemingly frozen without moving. This is like something out of one of those, like, when they have a serial killer in like police lockup and they just stare at the camera for hours as it goes by. Credit, by the way, to independent journalist Desiree Townsend in finding this video and spreading it. So in this, the Daily Beast delves further into the story. He occasionally would like seemingly respond to someone saying something to him. There's an indication that he kind of had to be led along in what he was doing. So he votes yes at some point, and a concerned clerk walks up to him and tells him he voted wrong, so he switched it. The senator needed to be told that he voted wrong. Then Bernie Moreno gave him a thumbs down, and so that like was the clue Mitch needed to know that he needed to vote no. In the third video, the Senate clerk, this is on the Daily Beast, signals him on how to vote. The clerk had his hand under the table when he goes thumbs down, and Mitch did. So he's like barely like a ventriloquist dummy being led along in the voting and just sitting there. There was a 5-hour period where he did not even shift in his seat. That is 10 days before the official story is he fell, injured himself, and that's why he had to go to the hospital, and there he got a pneumonia. So that's not even a good there's no explanation as to why you're in the hospital for literally months after that. But 10 days before it, he's seemingly incapable of moving and is just being like rolled around so they have the votes to pass a reconciliation bill or whatever. The entire thing is just so strange, Luke. I've never seen a video like that before. What do you think?
I don't know if you saw on your monitor my reaction while you were playing that. I had seen the video, and we're going to cover on my show right after this, the video of, like you said, AIDS or Moreno going, no, Mitch, you have to vote this way. And he's like, and votes that way. I had not seen the, what's it called whenever you do the time really fast?
Time lapse? Yeah.
Time lapse. Where if anyone's listening to the show as a podcast, picture the entire room moving super fast like a time lapse, walking around, fidgeting, and then Mitch looks like a photograph. He's just completely stagnant.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. If you try yourself right now to like film yourself just hanging out in your room, your arms will be moving a lot. You'll be shifting in your chair. He's not budging. It looks like somebody photoshopped him, just a photo of him in, and everyone's moving around. That's so freaky. I don't know what's happening. So there's the kind of disturbing, eerie aspect to it. Then there's your point, which is he's not a senator now. He is just somebody who other people tell how to vote. That's crazy. That's like a Senate seat coup. And then 3 being, I am so, and this is one of those similar to like what we talked about with the Iran war and how there's just only so many ways you can communicate the same point. This McConnell story we've discussed so much that I don't know how to use new words to express the rage I have that there's so little respect for us, constituents, the American public, that they pretend like we're weird for going, hey, you see how he's technically alive, but he's not moving for 5 hours and he's not asleep? That's not normal. Do you see how he voted yes? Then they changed his vote to no? That's not normal. And then those in power, at least on the Republican side, go, hey, whoa, you're being disrespectful. This is a private medical matter. It's like, well, we wouldn't have to care about his private medical matter if he would have just done what normal people do whenever you get to that physical state, which is leave your position.
Yeah, no, the normal thing you do when you get to that physical state is you're lowered into the ground and they put dirt on the coffin. Like, get to that at this point. Anyway, look, the entire thing is just so, go do your private medical thing. You've earned it. You've made the country worse for decades. You can rest now at this late date. Anyway, look, from the video, it is kind of zoomed out, and I know what a lot of people are thinking. Like, I don't have like a read on what his facial expression is like. Well, if you go to graphic 2, I have a feeling I know what his facial expression is like. It's the only facial expression he's capable of making. We bring this up. Just a vacant stare at the camera as life moves on around him.
May I please? I feel like I wouldn't have said this if we didn't just have a long conversation about, to use your term, the bankability of different politicians. So with that in mind, if you put that graphic back up, Elaine Chao is really a beautiful woman, I've noticed. Yeah. And like very youthful. I don't know how old she is, but she seems very youthful compared to him. Can I ask, is this actually something is this a relationship that ever had sexual chemistry? And yeah, I'm gonna make you think about that. Like, really? Because you're telling me that a very beautiful, youthful woman, and then Mitch, who, like you said, has never made any more than one facial expression in his whole life. I went back and looked at him when he was young. He was still this old somehow, like 40 years ago. Has there ever been romance between these two individuals?
I mean, they got married like 35 years ago. So Mitch was in his 80s at that point. So maybe, I don't know. Apparently they got married on a date chosen because it was President Ronald Reagan's birthday.
Oh, that's so hot.
No, yeah, that's pretty hot. I don't know. I'm trying to see him as a young man. He looks exactly like what you'd think he'd look. Oh, she was actually very pretty in 1993. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sure there was more intimacy than there is between the president and the first lady. That's all I can say for sure.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. I would love to do a segment with you on my show. You know what? You should come on my show and we'll do a whole story about the sex life of Mitch McConnell. I think that'd be fun.
Just in depth. I think we should just talk about every political couple and how much they bang. I think that's what we should talk about anyway. Okay, well, we're gonna have to leave the audience hot and bothered because that's all the time we have. But Luke, as always, thank you for joining us. And so where can people go to see yet more Luke?
Everyone except for the Tier 3 members who are going to wait and jump onto your members-only hangout.
Yes.
Everyone else can go over to Luke Beasley on YouTube. I'm about to go live right when this live wraps up and do my whole show. Be interesting.
Awesome. Yes, thank you for reminding me, by the way, because we are doing our members hangout. It's starting in 33 and a half minutes. I will hopefully see some of you there. I've done such a terrible job of promoting it. But anyway, hope to see some of you there. And tomorrow, Brett's going to be here. We'll throw away our garbage people of the week. Should be a lot of fun. For now, though, stay safe out there. Stay sane out there. We'll see you soon.
Torniamo?
Trust me, ain't nothing like